Alright guys, it is time to do a video that I've been looking forward to doing all summer long. And now that it's here, it's kind of depressing. Because the summer movie season is over. It's done, guys. We gotta wait a whole nother year. That's too long. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with a top 10 list. I only do these videos twice a year, guys, and I look forward to doing them all the time. And this is going to be a top 10 list for my top 10 favorite movies of the summer 2014 movie season. There we go, guys. The summer movie season is over. It's the end of August, and we are entering the fall and Oscar season. But, you know what? Summer movie season is one of my favorite times of the year, so it is time to look back on all of the best movies that we got this summer. Unfortunately, it's all over, but we'll always have next year. Now, there are a few things I have to get into, guys, before I give you my picks for this top 10 list. I don't have any honorable mentions, so that's easy, but there are a few disclaimers, a few little things that I do have to make you aware of, because there are going to be some things that you're going to agree with, okay? You're going to disagree with, okay? First off, right off the bat, this list is my personal opinion. Notice how the title of the video will not say top 10 best movies of the summer. It's top 10 favorite, as in my personal opinion, my personally favorite movies of the summer. So if there's things on here that you guys disagree with, that's your opinion, this is my opinion. That's why it's a favorite video, not a best of video. Okay? So that's one thing. The other thing is that there are going to be two movies that are not going to be on this list that technically came out this summer, but I feel they don't deserve to be on this list. And here are those two movies. Here are those two movies. First one is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I'm not even going to get into it. It came out in April. Yes, it was a summer movie that came out in April, but since it came out in April, I feel it doesn't deserve to be on a top 10 list of my favorite movies of the summer. It came out in April. Nevertheless, I love that movie. It'll be on my top 10 list at the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. The other thing, the other movie is, and this is going to surprise a lot of you, because this is my favorite movie of the summer, but, in my opinion, it's not a summer blockbuster. It's an indie, and that film is Boyhood. Boyhood is, without a doubt, the best movie I saw this summer. I love it. But this is a list I put together of my favorite summer blockbusters. Movies that were given wide releases, that were released widely to the public, that mostly everybody has seen, every movie buff has seen, okay? Boyhood is an indie film. It's a much smaller movie, even though it's a technical achievement. It'll be on my top 10 at the end of the year, guys. I didn't want to put it on because it would have obviously been #1, okay? I want to give these other movies a chance to be on a top 10 list. Boyhood, you will see it on my list at the end of the year. I promise you that. So that's what I wanted to say, and without further ado, guys, let's get into it. This summer was one of the best we have had in years, in my opinion. Nearly every single weekend, we got a movie that was good, okay? I went to the movies the first weekend, disappointed. I kept going back after that. Week after week after week, I just kept getting more, you know, I kept getting more excited, you know, to go back to the movies to the next weekend and see the next movie that was scheduled to come out. I mean, I just had so much fun this summer. One of the best we've had in years, okay? I loved the summer movie season. It was incredible. With that said, let's get into my picks for my top 10 favorite movies of summer 2014. Here we go, guys. Let's start the countdown. Coming in at number 10 is a movie, again, not a lot of people were fans of. I liked it. That's why it's on this list. Number 10 is The Purge: Anarchy. Now, The Purge: Anarchy is a sequel to The Purge, and even though I gave it like a C+, here's my thoughts on The Purge: Anarchy. It's a movie that is so much better than the first Purge, and that the first Purge sucked. I hated it, okay? And I really wasn't expecting that much from this movie, and it ended up being much, much better. It took the story outside on the night of the Purge, and not in some home invasion filled with cliches and predictable scenes and annoying dumb children, okay? You know, it had a very good lead performance from Frank Grillo, and even though the biggest problem in the movie was that it wasn't scary as a horror movie, the thing I loved about The Purge: Anarchy was that it worked as an action thriller with great gunfight scenes, and that is why I ended up really enjoying The Purge: Anarchy. It was a big surprise for me, and a sequel much better than the original. That's number 10. moving on to number 9 is my second favorite comedy of the year. A movie, again, another movie that surprised me, and that is Neighbors. Neighbors really succeeded, in my opinion, mainly because of its really good casting. We had Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, Zac Efron. All the supporting characters were even funny. Really good performances from all of them. And a screenplay with a concept, in my opinion, that was kind of original in its own right. They took a party movie with, you know, like college party kids, alright? We've seen that before, but they put a spin on it and had to move into a neighborhood where these two neighbors are trying to raise a young baby daughter. And I really liked that concept. I thought it was funny. The movie itself, as a comedy, really worked, even though it could have been a little bit funnier, but most of the jokes hit for me, alright? The pop culture references were awesome. Supporting characters were great. The party scenes were nice. I really enjoyed Neighbors. Definitely a very enjoyable comedy. That's number 9. Coming in at number 8, in a movie in a summer movie season filled with action movies, sci-fi movies, you know, big blockbuster comedies, explosions, fight sequences. We had a much quieter, much more dramatic movie that ended up really working for me, in my opinion, and that film is my number 8 pick, and that is The Fault in Our Stars. The Fault in Our Stars is not an action movie filled with fight scenes between the two leads, you know, or, you know, like these over-dramatic things going on. The Fault in Our Stars is a teen romance movie that I ended up really liking, mainly because it wasn't over-the-top dramatic or corny or, you know, cliched ridden, really, okay? It wasn't, you know, sappy, and it didn't feel unrealistic. It felt very genuine, in my opinion. The chemistry between the two leads was incredible. Shailene Woodley is on fire. Her and Ansel Elgort were incredible in the movie, and even though I didn't get fully emotionally attached to the characters in the movie, I felt that the movie was still depressing on its own right. It's definitely a movie that will hit you at some point in the film and make you say, that sucks to be those characters in that position. Nevertheless, I definitely recommend seeing The Fault in Our Stars. It was nice to see a change of pace or a different genre of a movie come out this summer movie season with a season filled with big action movies and stuff like that. So The Fault in Our Stars is number 8, okay? Coming in at number 7 is basically the only monster movie we saw this summer, and it is a remake that has been done a dozen times before, and it is Godzilla. Godzilla is my number 7 pick, and although Godzilla is in the movie for about 10 minutes, I really ended up enjoying the movie. I mean, the last fight sequence alone, and you will have heard this before, it's worth the price of an admission ticket. It is, okay? It is still, in my opinion, that final fight sequence between Godzilla, okay, and the other monsters in the movie, it is still one of the best fight sequences of the entire summer movie season. It still sticks out in my head. At the moment Godzilla does that thing, alright, I don't want to spoil it, alright, it still is very fresh in my head. One of the best scenes of any summer movie that came out this summer. It had plenty of moments like that in this movie. It had really strong human performances. Bryan Cranston was incredible, as he always is. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, the human cast was really good. The visuals were stunning, in my opinion. And even though the story should have definitely focused a lot more on Godzilla, I really cared for the human side of the story. It was dramatic, it was tense, I really liked it, and I definitely can't wait to see a sequel. There's a lot of room for improvement, but I really enjoyed the first Godzilla. It was pretty good. That's number 7. Coming in at number 6 is the best comedy of the year, in my opinion. You know what? It's a sequel that ended up working, even though I walked into this movie saying to myself, it's probably not going to be that great, but I was really surprised because the trailers made the movie look very unfunny and very bad, okay? You know, I wasn't really that pumped for the movie. Then I watched the movie and told myself, this movie is hilarious. The best comedy of the year, number 6, is 22 Jump Street. You know what, guys? I know this movie is a sequel that isn't as good as the first, and it knows it's not as good as the first. The first one is one of the best comedies ever, in my opinion. I love 21 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street is a movie that makes fun of itself for being a sequel. It is self-referential in that way, but even though it's doing similar things that the first one did, it still found a way to do original jokes and do original scenarios that ended up being hilarious. The scene with Ice Cube in the college scene in this movie is still, in my opinion, the funniest scene I've seen in a movie in a very long time and of the year, okay? Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill continue to have incredible chemistry. They always impress me. Phil Lord and Chris Miller are really, really on a hot streak. I can't wait to see what the two of them do next. And as usual, Ice Cube steals every single scene he's in this movie, as he did with the first one. I really enjoyed 22 Jump Street. The end credits were also pretty freaking awesome. So 22 Jump Street is number 6. Moving into my top 5, guys. Here we go. We got the 5 big ones. These are my 5 favorite movies that I look back and told myself, I really enjoyed watching that. And here we go with number 5. The most controversial film on this list, and it's also perhaps one of the most hated by many of you. Here it is, guys. You know what? If you don't love this series, then, I mean, I'm sorry. That's your opinion. In my opinion, I grew up watching the Transformer movies, and that is why I enjoyed Transformers Age of Extinction, my number 5 pick. Now, a lot of you are first not only going to kill me for putting this movie on the list, but you're all going to be like, why did you put this movie above 22 Jump Street? Well, you know what? I looked back as I was making this list and told myself, what movie did I enjoy watching more? Transformers Age of Extinction. I enjoyed it more. What can I say, guys? I'm a fan of Transformers. I'm a fan of Michael Bay. If you're not, then this movie simply isn't for you. And here's the thing about Age of Extinction. I saw this movie 3 times in the theaters. The first time I saw it, I was like, you know what? It was a little disappointing. I was a little upset with it, okay? It was flawed. It was overstuffed. I've since watched it again and have since enjoyed it much, much more upon multiple viewings of the movie. I just feel it's a lot better than people make it out to be. Is it better than Transformers 1 or Transformers Dark of the Moon? No, it's not, okay? It's miles way better than Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. But you know what? They needed to do something new with this franchise, and I like the direction they're taking Transformers in with Transformers Age of Extinction. The new cast was great. The action sequences and visuals are mind-blowing and incredible, as they always are. The score is excellent. The soundtrack, I loved it. It's just a movie that I enjoy, and if it's not for you, then it's not for you guys. Since I'm a fan of Transformers, that's why I like this movie. I'm not saying it's the best, one of the best movies of the summer, but it is still one of my favorite movies of the summer movie season, and that is why I like Transformers Age of Extinction. That's it. Not even going to get into it anymore. Coming in at number 4. Another sequel that really impressed me, even though I had a very strong feeling this movie was going to be incredible, and it was. Number 4 is X-Men Days of Future Past. My goodness, guys. Bryan Singer, you know, he's like, I'm going to go back and fix X-Men, okay? Because X-Men had a lot of problems with X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, you know. The series needed to be saved, and boy did Bryan Singer deliver. This is not only one of the most entertaining X-Men movies, it is the best film in this franchise. I loved nearly every single second of X-Men Days of Future Past. There's a flaw here or there, there's an inconsistency here or there, but you know what? I really enjoy this movie. It has a star-studded cast with excellent actors, excellent performances, great action sequences, visuals. The fight scenes were so entertaining. It has a really tense and dramatic, often a little bit funny screenplay. I really enjoyed X-Men Days of Future Past. I can't wait to see the next X-Men movie, and it put the franchise in a new direction, like Transformers Age of Extinction, and I really can't wait to see what they're going to do with it next. X-Men Days of Future Past is awesome. I can't wait to watch it again. That is number 4. Coming in at number 3 is going to be a movie a lot of you guys are going to be like, why isn't this movie number 1? A lot of you guys liked it, but you know what? I like 2 movies more than this one. Coming in at number 3 is, here we go, Guardians of the Galaxy. And ironically, I'm wearing the shirt, a Rocket Raccoon and Groot shirt right now. Guardians of the Galaxy is a movie I wasn't even looking forward to seeing, mainly because I walked into it thinking, I'm not going to connect with this movie. I'm not going to like it, because I don't know anything about the universe of Guardians of the Galaxy. I walked out of it saying to myself, boy, was I wrong, and boy, was this movie one of the most entertaining movies of the summer. It is also one of the most original, fresh, refreshing, fresh movies of the summer movie season. You know, it just felt so much different, and I definitely enjoyed and connected with these characters in some way. I enjoyed their character development. It, again, like X-Men Days of Future Past, has a very huge, star-studded, committed cast, in my opinion. The action sequences are incredible. The fight scenes, the dialogue is not only smart, but it's funny, it's witty. I loved it. I laughed so much in this movie. I had such a fun time watching Guardians of the Galaxy. It also, in my opinion, has one of the best soundtracks of the whole entire year. I loved it. Even though the villain wasn't that great, I still loved Guardians of the Galaxy. It is incredible. Definitely recommend it. That's number 3. Coming in at number 2, guys. This is where it got tough, alright? You know, between number 2, 3, and 4, this movie deserves to be number 2. It's one of the best sci-fi, it's one of the best original, non-sequel sci-fi films I've seen in a very long time. Number 2 is Edge of Tomorrow. Man, did Tom Cruise kill it with this movie, as did his co-star Emily Blunt. They had amazing chemistry with one another. And even though it's not an original sci-fi movie, and it's definitely something we've seen before in the past, we've seen exoskeletons, we've seen stuff like that. We've seen it, guys. We have. But it still managed to take that concept, put a spin on it, change things up a little bit, and it's still so entertaining at the same time. It is so funny. The characters, Tom Cruise's character, the situation he gets himself into, it is so overly hilarious. I laughed a lot watching this movie. The plot is so entertaining and engaging. The visuals are incredible, really Oscar-worthy stuff here. And it's just a movie I sat down watching. I was so impressed with it. I really didn't think it was going to be that great. And it really, really, genuinely surprised me. I really loved Edge of Tomorrow. I cannot wait to buy this movie on Blu-ray. It really did it for me. And the editing was incredible. I really loved Edge of Tomorrow. And finally, guys, my number 1 pick. This, in my opinion, now Boyhood is the best movie this summer. But the best blockbuster of the summer movie season goes to this movie. It is not only an incredible piece of sci-fi filmmaking, but it is also one of the best sequels I've probably seen of all time. Number 1, my favorite blockbuster of the summer, is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, guys, is one of those cases where you have a sequel that literally improves upon the first movie in its franchise in nearly every single way. In that, I loved everything about this movie. This movie took what Rise of the Planet of the Apes did and improved upon it and made everything about that movie, which is good on its own right, so much better. In terms of directing, acting, storytelling, character development, visual effects, all of that improves upon what Rise of the Planet of the Apes did. I love this movie. I cannot wait for what is next to come. My goodness, it's a movie where you care about apes, okay? The apes are so well developed. They're real characters, and you actually do care about them. They're some of the best characters of the year. Andy Serkis does Oscar-worthy work here, doing the motion capture work for Caesar. The visuals are incredible. The action scenes are so fun and entertaining. The setting, I loved it. The story itself was completely unpredictable, unexpected, very dramatic, you know, tense at moments. I love Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I only saw it once. I cannot wait to watch it again on Blu-ray. It's just a movie that is so much better than the first, and I really loved it. So there you have it, guys. That is my top 10 list of my top 10 favorite movies of the summer 2014 movie season. This was a great summer for movies, and I want to hear it from you guys. What are your top 10 favorite movies of the summer movie season? Let me know down below, or send me a link to a video of your top 10. I really am curious to see what your favorite movies of the summer are, and those were mine. I hope you guys enjoyed my picks. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye, guys.